Brett came over to teach us how to do the annual filter change for the Spartan Delphi combo. First thing to do is turn the cold water off so there's no accidents.
Okay, now that the water is shut off to the faucet, I'm going to go ahead and depressurize the water system. Make sure that when we open up the filter unit, it doesn't put out a lot of excess water into our cabinet. Before I do anything else, I'm going to unplug the Delphi unit. The filters, one of the things that they will do is when you remove them to change them out, they will have a certain amount of residual water inside of the cartridge casings. So we're going to lay out a couple of towels to protect the cabinet. And we're going to put a small shallow pan underneath to catch any residual water that comes out of the unit. Take that over to the kitchen sink. You can feel it's pretty heavy with sediment inside. As all the water is drained down, it weighs twice as what it did before. There's a lot of particulate matter in it. All they take is just a little twist to release them, and then you want to remove this slowly because it does weigh a little bit with the water inside of it. And once it's released, let that water drain into the pan. There are two empty media cartridge covers, and all you want to do is just check inside to make sure that there's no additional debris. And extremely important to make sure that this O-ring is intact and not impinged, damaged, because this is the only thing that's holding back water pressure. And if it's not exactly seated correctly, it could leak. Okay. So we're going to take filter number 1. These are still in pretty good shape, but just the same, it's probably safe to change them out. The most important thing to do when these cartridges are going in is not to over-tighten them. If they are over-tightened, they will be extremely difficult to remove next time. And once you water pressurize them, you can recheck it for leaks and tighten it if necessary. There's a pretty positive stop when you tighten them. They stop pretty quickly. Just drops down into the housing, very simply. And it just needs to be snug. I think these could probably be attached to the outside of the cartridges to show which sequence they go into for any future installer. Okay, now we're going to take down the Delphi unit and remove the module itself. on top so it doesn't get lost, because it is a special wrench. Okay, now in this case the unit is hung on the wall, and it's just a matter of lifting up and turning the unit around, and there is our access door for our module. I'm just going to lift that up. Now I think what I'm going to do too is to put the pan underneath this unit, because there is going to be a little bit of residual water coming from this cartridge. It's always important to unplug this unit when you're servicing it. First thing we're going to do is take this module, push it down, and you can see the water coming out. And you can feel that also this one is full of trash from the original water, because it's significantly heavier even when we're going to take the new Boston filter, check to make sure that the O-ring around the bottom is secure, not damaged at all, no debris or any dirt. This will push down into this. This has a spring-loaded receptor here, so it's like putting in a battery into a remote control. You have to actually push down a little bit. And there it is. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and plug the unit back in and reset the filter counter. We're going to press, hold, cover and slides back on. Just a simple, typical plastic cover. Now, before this unit gets reinstalled, some of these units can sit on their feet. It doesn't have to be hung up. We hung up this unit to give more floor cabinet space. But in any case, these fittings here need to be examined to make sure that they haven't been pinched or kinked or damaged in any way. So you'll be looking at that fitting to make sure that there's no water, and in this case there isn't. So we're going to take this screw right here, or this receptor, and we're going to put it right on that screw right there very gently. Don't overextend these cables by pulling on it. Now it's time to go ahead and turn the water back on and flush the unit before it's ready for use. Now you want to turn on the water slowly instead of all at once, just to make sure that everything is leak-free. Now you can hear the filter media filling up with water. Now there is a certain amount of air in the system that we're going to purge out. Purge the incoming cold water system, so to get all the air out of it if there is any. Okay. Now there's going to be a certain amount of air coming out. This is perfectly normal. We've introduced a lot of air into the system with the filter replacement, so it's going to take a couple seconds to come out. So we're going to leave this open and flush it for approximately a minute to a minute and a half. And while we're doing that, we're going to go check to see if our cartridges. It looks like all of our cartridges and our media are all looking great, and it's always a good idea to flush them just to make sure that any impurities that were released by the removal of the ink cartridges flush out.